Hi everyone. I haven't made a video on this channel in quite a few years now, but I wanted to come make this as I recently found a couple of animal rescue channels that have some content that rather concerns me. Um, I've never made a video like this, nor have I ever really made any videos at all. So I apologize in advance if this video is amateur in quality. Mainly, I just think it's important for this information to be put out there in whatever way possible. So to get started, the name of these channels are Animals Rescue Media and Animals Care Media. They're run by the same guy. Based on what he says, he's based in Mexico and he runs a shelter to, help animals. Mainly, these two channels revolve around saving any strays that he comes across that seems to be abandoned. But the legitimacy of some of these videos is what's concerning me. So I'm going to start with the first video here that this guy has posted. It's called Kitten Crying When Abandoned in the Sewer. Rescue team arrived in time and taken care. So it starts off with this guy, as the title suggests, he walks up on this little opening to like this sewer canal type thing, and he looks down and he can see a cat soaking wet, crying, coming out of this little hole. And the first thing that kind of bothers me is this guy spends absolutely forever filming this kitten. Now I'm gonna have the video on screen. As you can see, like this kitten is soaked with mud, probably very cold and very hungry. So the fact that it takes about 35 seconds into the video for this man to even pick the kitten up, which obviously the video has cuts in it, so this man probably spent ain't no telling how many minutes just walking around this cat, filming it with it standing there crying. So then when he finally does bring it back to his home or shelter, wherever he brings these animals, he shows himself taking care of the kitten and doctoring it up. And I want to point out the issue with this too, because this is the same process that he has in every single one of his videos across both channels. First he bathes the kitten, then he plays doctor with it, giving it eye drops, cleaning around its eyes, taking its heartbeat, with it still there shivering, might I add. Then, only after all that, does he give the cat any food. And you can see the kitten is starving simply based on the fact of how fast the cat starts gobbling down the fish. See, even if these two channels were completely real, that is a huge issue. With any hurt or abandoned animal, food and water comes before anything else because you have no idea how long the animal has gone without it. Yet to emphasize again, this guy does the same exact process in every video. Food always comes last for whatever reason. Now moving on to the next video, this is the second one this guy has posted. It's called Abandoned Kitten in the Old Machine. He's very hungry and cold. So again, as you can see in the footage that I'm putting up here, it starts off saying, "We received this video from my followers who said someone abandoned the kitten in a broken machine. The cat is huddling in the machine, very cold weather, etc." So just starting off with this. One of his followers sent him this video, allegedly. So you're telling me that the cat is sitting right there on top of this machine, and this so-called follower of his didn't just pick the cat up? Like, he had to make a video filming this cat on the machine. But this guy, allegedly, whoever this follower is, decided to film this cat when it's right there instead of just picking it up and bringing it to the shelter that this guy apparently has. Now, if we continue to the video, it cuts to the guy who runs the shelter going to this machine. But if we look at this, the kitten is now deeper within this machine. And again, all this, like, this so-called follower, if this was real, the so-called follower could just picked it up from the ledge, brought it over to the shelter. So the next video that I'm going to take a look at is called "We Found Abandoned Puppy in Very Cold and Rainy Weather. He was struggling to survive." It starts off with our lead star here going to the so-called abandoned workshop where he had been told by someone that a small dog was left here. There's nothing too strange to point out in this video just yet. I mainly just want to take a look at what happens after the dog is quote-unquote rescued. He pretty much follows the same process as before in terms of doctoring and feeding the dog, yet at one point he starts bandaging the dog's leg. The dog's leg doesn't look injured, and the dog isn't limping or anything when shown walking around later on in the video, but maybe this guy is just seeing something I'm not. So if there is an actual issue and this dog's leg does really need to be treated, why is he using what looks to be a piece of tape rather than an actual bandage? If the dog has a wound, tape certainly isn't going to do anything to help it. It's quite frankly ridiculous how little this guy seems to know about taking care of animals. Yet he claims that he runs an animal shelter, like it just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Now, I understand that everything I've shown so far isn't complete, indisputable proof that these rescues are faked, just proof that this guy has no idea how to take care of an animal, even if he does find one that's been truly abandoned or hurt. As such, the next few videos that I'm going to show you is that proof, and they're actually the ones that gave me the idea to be here in the first place. Okay, so moving on to the next video. This one's titled "Rescue Abandoned Puppy in the Landfills." There's not, again, in isolation, anything in this video that really stands out except for when he approaches the animal. This dog, as you can see, is walking around in this grass by the trash, wagging its tail. Looks like it's sniffing around, exploring. Now the captions on this video says it is panicking and that he's trying to reassure her. So I would like to point out that this does not look like a panicking dog. Again, it's sniffing around, wagging its tail. If it was scared, panicking, afraid of this man, it would not be wagging its tail, I can assure you that. Then the next thing, as he approaches the dog then proceeds to lay down on the grass and roll over, exposing its stomach to this man. Now, even if we don't take the tail wagging into account, never would a scared animal expose its stomach to a complete stranger who it sees as a possible threat. That's just not gonna happen. The dog is gonna cower, it's gonna tuck its tail in, it's gonna try and protect any fragile parts of his body like stomach. It's not gonna roll over and ask for belly rubs. You know, what this guy is saying doesn't match up with the actual actions of the dog itself. Now this is just the beginning of my dissection of this video, because aside from this dog's body language, there's something way more important I would like to address with this video and the previous one that I just showed you. In short, I 100% believe that the dogs featured between these two videos are the exact same dog. I'm going to put some pictures on screen now comparing the dog's features and patches of fur. As you can see, the two dogs look identical. Same brown and white color, white tail, white feet, and a dark, almost completely black snout. Looking at the second set of pictures here, you can see the white patch on the back of the dog's neck is the same. In both pics, the white fur shows to kind of wrap around that small section of brown fur right behind its head. In this next set of pictures that shows the other side of the dog, on the top of the left hind leg, there's a faint white spot that's present in both pictures. These two pictures also gives a good look at the fur on the dog's legs. The left hind leg has white fur covering pretty much just the end of the foot, while the two front legs have white going all the way up to almost its shoulder. The creator of these videos also calls the dog a he in the first video and a she in the second. After watching these videos over and over for this, there are many instances where you can see that the dog is a girl in both videos. I don't know why he misgenders the dog in the first video. I mean, there is a chance he could have planned this and used that as a way to try and convince people this is two different dogs. But after seeing everything these channels have shown so far, I don't really believe this dude has the mental capacity to even fathom such an idea. So maybe it's a typo, maybe it's not. Either way, I'm not trying to make assumptions. All I'm trying to do is compile the evidence that I found in hopes that this guy can be exposed for the BS that he keeps posting online. Now, all of the videos I've shown you so far have just been from one channel, Animals Rescue Media. However, as I stated earlier, this guy does have a second channel, that being Animals Care Media. The last couple of videos that I'm going to take a look at are from the second channel. First, I want to take a quick look at this video titled Kitten Abandoned on the Train Track, Animals in Crisis. I have quite a number of issues with this supposed rescue, just like the others, but most are issues that I've already covered, so I won't go too in-depth with this one. It just bothers me how staged this all looked. Once again, this guy gets intel from someone anonymous that there was a kitten abandoned here. Yet this mysterious person just left the kitten there alone on literal train tracks. It looks like the kitten was very much planted there, but I'm doing my best to try and follow the story that's being presented, even though there's no logic in it whatsoever. You can also see again how this bozo values his money shots way more than the animal's well-being. It takes him several shots over the course of a full minute before he even makes any sort of physical contact with the cat. Furthermore, he seems to be stroking his ego a lot with captions such as, "It is approaching me, for it is sense the love me give to abandoned animals." I don't think I need to elaborate on that any further. It's just weird. Also, if we look at the end of this video, we can also see the same exact dog from the previous two videos that I discussed. However, there's no direct confirmation from this guy this is the same dog, nor are there any updates on her health or recovery, despite being supposedly abandoned just a few days prior. And that's something else that's a constant with these videos. A few times we can see what looks like to be animals from the other videos, but we're never given an official update on what's been going on since the quote-unquote rescue. Moving on to the final video, this is definitely one of the fakest looking videos that's been posted by this man. It's called Kittens Tied in Plastic Bags in the Landfill's Animals in Crisis. It starts pretty much the same way as before. This guy is told by a random person, in this case a woman who's sweeping around the dumpster, that there's an abandoned animal nearby in need of help. The video states that this lady saw a person wrap the cat up in a plastic bag and left it in the dump. Yet again, we're expected to believe that the side characters of these videos don't have enough brain cells to figure out when an animal is at risk of dying, and instead we need our hero to step in just to take a few steps across the street and untie a plastic bag. Now there is one last major thing to note about this video, that being the thumbnail. As you can see, it shows a picture of the cat sticking its head outside of the plastic bag. However, if you watch the footage of him taking the cat out of the bag, nowhere is the moment of the thumbnail ever shown. And this shot of freeing the kitten is completely uncut, so there's no way it would have just been cut out either. Without a doubt, there's no possible way to logically explain this other than the fact that this guy simply placed the kitten inside this plastic bag himself. It's all honestly just sickening. You know, I could continue examining this guy's content endlessly, really. There's so many more instances across all of his videos that show just blatant lying and complete disregard for the health of these animals. However, I think if you've made it this far, then what I've shown you is way more than enough evidence to expose these channels. I urge you, please do not support this man in any way. Do not interact with his videos. Do not become a member of his channel. Do not donate any money to him via PayPal. You know, we can't control what this guy does off camera, but we can at the very least stop him from monetizing this abuse and get him off of YouTube. So yeah, that's all I have to say for now. If anything comes of this, I'll be sure to post an update. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching.